All right, folks. We have Coach Archie Miller. Coach, you spent this morning at the Coaches for Cancer breakfast. Just wondered if you could share thoughts on your team manager, Jackson, being honored and the job that he did speaking this morning.
Jackson is a phenomenal young guy. So happy he's with us. It's great to be a part of, someone's life and be able to provide, what he needs to pursue his passion. And, when you have the battle that he and his family have faced with the loss, there's a void there. And I think in some cases, Jackson has really, really taken this opportunity, really to pursue, his dreams. And I'm glad we can be a part of it. His story last year, very emotional, coming off of the breakfast tip-off last year. And then this year, just hearing him speak, how much more mature he is, where he's at personally, and the job that he does. He's going to be really ultra successful in anything that he wants to pursue. But in general, I'm glad we can be a part of his passion, which is basketball, coaching, just in general, being able to develop. And he plays an integral role in what we do. So this morning was a great story.
Thank you very much. We'll open up to questions. Obviously, we've got the opener on Monday. Go ahead, guys.
Archie, just the camaraderie that you have. I know everybody's getting ready for a season. Monday, Tuesday, games start. But to be able to come together this morning with some of the other coaches from the other programs, I'm sure with a mission like that, nice to be able to do that this morning.
Every time. I think any time that we can give back and use the platform as a coaching fraternity and do things together, it's always good. So much about competition in all phases of what we do, going against each other, games, we play each other sometimes, recruiting, whatever it may be. Every time that you have an opportunity to come together and be a part of something, for good, I think, can't do it enough. And in particular, Coaches versus Cancer, the battle that we all go through as society with the terrible disease, millions and millions of dollars being raised, year in, year out, just from the game of basketball. And, if you can help somebody by coming together like that, I think nothing but positive. We can't do enough of it.
A lot of lead up here to Monday. A lot of time in the gym. A lot of work to put in. Feel like the guys are ready?
Yeah, I don't know if you'll ever feel you're ready, depending on, the time. You wish you could practice more, but it's time for us to play games. Just the other night was so beneficial for us to get the game day routine in the arena, under the lights, and get some of those jitters out, so Monday doesn't feel as foreign, especially with a group of so many new players that haven't played college basketball, haven't played together before. So that was good to shake that out. As we approach Monday, though, man, it's been a long time coming. You end your season, you go through so much in the spring in terms of your roster, your recruiting, your building, the pressure to be able to get better, all of the things that go into progress. And we're at that stage now where we kick it off. And I'm excited for our group. We have a high ceiling in terms of where we can get to in terms of our improvement. We're nowhere near where we can be or where we need to be. Monday's going to be difficult. It just is. There's going to be some nerves and whatnot, but we have some time here to prepare and get ready, a couple more days, and, we're excited to get it tipped off. It goes fast. Once you tip that ball for the first time, they just start rolling around, and it is what it is. But it's a kickoff. And, I hope that our arena, I hope that our fans, I hope that our students in general, are there with us on Monday night. So many places, they come for the big game, or they get up for the good team. This is a great tradition. This is a great place they come to see the Rams. So, especially as we kick off a new season with a new group, and maybe we're not as familiar from the names and the faces, but hopefully after the other night, they can see a group that has real potential, and we're going to need it. I think home court's everything, and starting your season off the right way, is so important. So it's a big night.
If you had primary takeaways from Assumption, good or bad, what were they?
I think from a good perspective, we have much improved in the last few weeks, and some things that we weren't anywhere near capable of doing, 2 weeks ago. I thought we played, a significant portion of the game the right way. I thought guys were trying to do what we asked them to do from a role perspective, from a scheme perspective. And I didn't think you saw out there just a lot of just bad basketball. I thought our guys, when they missed shots or they missed plays, it was in the framework of what we're trying to do, which is a good thing. I think defensively, it was a very unique cover, but it's a great challenge, especially when you play a three-point shooting team, 5 players on the floor at one time that can really shoot. They really spread you out. I was proud of our front court players for, over the course of the game, really doing a pretty good job of identifying three-point shooters. We didn't look like we were a fish out of water, so to speak, in terms of guys not knowing what was going on. But I thought Assumption did some things that really challenged us. They switched all game long. Very rarely do you get a chance to go against that type of defense where switch. Sometimes a team can really get bogged down, and I thought we did a pretty good job there. But just in general, there's some real positives. We got to play a lot of guys. We continue to tweak with the lineups. We're able to do that a little bit. Clearly defining roles moving forward as we keep going. It's going to be a big deal, but we're not anywhere where we need to be in terms of experience or chemistry or just what it's going to take for us to be able to play the best teams on our schedule. And in particular, I think Central Connecticut State's going to present a real challenge for us. And we're going to have to be ready. And I like the potential. I like the possibilities. I also like the coachability. We have a lot of different weapons, but we're going to have to really forge an identity defensively here in November to be successful, I think, long term.
Coach, earlier you talked about Wednesday being beneficial and having the home court advantage on Monday. CCU has yet to play a game in front of fans. Do you feel, on top of having home court advantage, you guys have the upper hand when it comes to momentum and from playing on Wednesday?
No, I think playing on Wednesday is good for us. I don't put any thought into how it'll impact them one way or another. We don't have much to go on, if anything, just in terms of them not having a game or being able to watch them. So you're going to really rely on your effort and your habits, and you're going to rely on your system. And I think that's the scary part for a group like us. How much better can we continue to get at some of the things that we can control, because you're going to see some things you just don't know. And so that's a little bit weird. I don't think you're going to play a whole lot of mind games with this group in terms of a team had a game, didn't have a game. I do think what we did on Wednesday was beneficial to us just because we got it out of the way. It's not going to be foreign to us on Monday in terms of what the routine is, the game, the jump ball. At times I think the scrimmages are very beneficial because of the competition level, but it also is not as beneficial when you get out there and your parents are in the stands and there's pressure on you. There's real game pressure. So we got that out of the way, and I'm happy about that.
Coach, we had your 2 starting guards in here earlier. In terms of pace of play, they seem to be deliberate. They were a little bit cautious. They protected the ball well. Is that the nature of who they are, or was that a strategic decision in terms of pace of play?
Our pace of play is very, very important to what we're doing, but also playing with great pace and great intelligence is something that we've really stressed. We have to be able to take care of the ball. Teams that take care of the ball, they give themselves a real chance to win. Teams that don't take care of the ball, it's very difficult on them to win games, and I think we know that. I think both of those 2 guys are older. I think Louis is a controlled player. I think he's a very, very methodical half-court player. He's very, very cerebral in the half-court. We're trying to get Louis to play with a little bit more tempo in the full-court game. I think just teaching our guys, though, in general, what we're looking for and getting good at what we do, not trying to do things that are out of character of what you do. But we had 13 turnovers on Wednesday night, and maybe a few too many. But I didn't think any of the turnovers really were just outlandish, like what are we doing out there? I think most of our turnovers came within either some broken down plays or just maybe some flub ups. But turnover game is a huge deal. We want to play fast. We want to have great tempo. We want to have great pace, not only in the full court but the half court in terms of our movement. but we got to make good decisions. And I think, making good decisions is a big part of our success here early in the year.
It seems when Always Right comes in, he picks up the pace of
No
play.
question.
Is that going to be an advantage with him coming off the bench, and the other team will see something different?
His development, and in particular point guard development for our team this season is a huge deal. Me personally, have to take a lot of pride in those guys and coaching them. But we have two different types of point guards. Louis, who really isn't a true point, but he plays like a point. And he's a little bit slower, maybe a little bit more methodical, but he's also, probably at this stage better half-court scorer and some things. Always is like that other running back that you have that's not the power back. He's maybe more the explosive back you get in space, and he gives us a change of speeds. He gives us a tempo that's a little different. We love that. Both guys have to make marked improvement in what we're doing, but it is a huge storyline on this season is the point guard position and how these guys play. They don't have to be traditional prototype point guards, but by committee, they have to do a phenomenal job of running our team, taking care of the ball, and also, high assists, low turnovers. But it's a huge deal, but always definitely gives us a little curveball just in terms of how he plays. He has a motor to him, and he has a great speed with the ball. He's got to take care of it as well. But, great question, great point. It's a huge part to, our team's success this year is going to be those guys being able to do the job.
I asked Louis and Zeke about the preparation between an exhibition and a regular season game. They said that there really isn't a difference. Do you agree with that?
No. It's still 0-0 right now. I mean, it's 0-1 or 1-0, baby. There's a big difference. Preparation-wise, it ratchets us up a little bit. As the games continue to go, you get more information, you get more scouting, you get more detail. It starts to wear on you a little bit more. Less information. Try to be good at what you do in the exhibition, but there's still not that end result that you're looking for that counts. So I think, maybe when we get out here the next 72 hours, 3 days, they'll figure out it is going to be a little bit different. More preparation, more about, preparing, more thinking. But there's definitely a little bit of a difference.
You mentioned having to play a lot of guys. You obviously had 3 in street close the other night. Do you have updates on those 3?
Josephat is slowly but surely, week by week and month by month, being cleared to do more by doctors. He is doing some contact right now, but he's not doing full court live 5-on-5 yet. But he's getting close to being able to do that, I think, maybe after this weekend. And Josephat, I'm intrigued by him because he plays really hard and he's smart, and I think that he can help our team. I think he really can. He adds, continued depth inside, bigger body, plays hard, showed signs last year of being effective. So he's getting closer to being a return. If there's anything with him, probably wouldn't be that first week of the season, but as we start heading into the middle of November, I could see where the practices start to ramp up for him and we can see where he's at. But he's making good progress. Rory Stewart's thigh contusion, he's pretty much day to day. I think as we go through next week, he'll be back here and be fine. Third guy, Dave Green, still, he's in whatever you would call the waiver process, and I'm not sure how long that'll take. But we're prepared to obviously continue moving forward, playing with, playing without.
Coach, earlier you were asked about Always Right, and back at Hoop Fest, you talked about how Always Right is like top 5 guys you've coached work ethic wise.
Yeah.
In the game, not offensive, only 5 points, but he put up 6 boards, grabbed 6 boards, 4 assists. Do you feel since that comment at Hoop Fest, he has progressed in a work ethic sense and become more of a leader on the team?
Yeah, I think, Always is kind of like a freshman where, he's a young guy. He's going to have to go through the experience of playing in games to really get a feel for what it's like out there. But in terms of what I said, in terms of his work ethic, his attention to detail, his care, he's what a coach dreams of having. He really is. And I think his improvement will really dictate, how successful we can be this season, because I think there's a real component of the more he can handle, the more Louis can play off the ball, where he may be even a little bit more comfortable. So we've talked a lot about our team, and our staff has talked a lot about how important always is, just in the grand scheme of things, of not being in without Louis. You know, I mean, there's a component that you want your best players to be, your best playmakers, your best guards to be on the floor when they're playing well. And my hope is that those two guys can play together at times, because Louis is comfortable playing off the ball. He's done that in his career. So, but I have absolutely zero fear in terms of how he approaches things, his dedication to his own game and his pride in himself. He's competitive, but he's also learning. You know, he's going to go through some things here early in the season where he's going to struggle. It's just going to be what it is, but he'll get there. He'll will himself to be there, and the work ethic, second to none. I mean, the time he spent on his shot, the time he's spending right now on his body. He got hurt, tweaked his back 2 weeks ago. And, the dedication to getting back, the over the top care, you know, in terms of getting back to practice, because he cares so much. But tremendous kid, great worker, and huge part to what we're doing here, just in terms of like how good can we be. You know, a lot of it depends on maybe, you know, how quickly he can develop into a rock steady guy for us.
Archie, you said that you seem like you really like coaching this team,
Yeah.
coachability wise. You also said that you feel like you're going to surprise people. Where do you feel like we'll see that right away in terms of what we see on the floor?
Well, I would hope the other night you saw a little bit just in terms of size, strength, bigger body, strength, can be a good defensive team. Offensively, we have the ability now to work the paint inside out more, which is a huge part to what we're doing. I also think there's a part to this team that as we play together, they get better. They're very, very, you know, there's times out there we have 5 players who never played basketball together most of the time. So I think the gelling and the talent together, you know, and defining the roles, you know, to me is really, really exciting. I don't know here. You know, November is going to be, we'll see how we go here. There's a lot of things that hit teams early in the season, different styles, adversity, you know, how do you handle it? I think we're going to struggle through a lot of those things, but I also think if we stick with it and we keep growing, that this team can play. You know, and I think we have a lot of, if you just watched the other night, I mean, not that assumption is going to be, you know, down the line type of competition, but never in a million years 6 guys could get 10 points in a game a year ago. It just wasn't possible. And so we have more. We also have an inexperienced togetherness, and we also have some inexperience in terms of young guys that are going to get better. So it's exciting in that regard. But I'm not worried about our team in terms of you know, where people think we are or whatever it is. You have to go out there and earn that. I think as long as we do that the right way every day, we'll be okay.
You ever been involved in a team that had 59 rebounds in one game?
No. I saw that at the end of the game, and it's just like, wow, you know, it's a lot of rebound. But the way Assumption played the game, you know, they're a 3-point shooting team. They're going to live and die by it. They took a lot of threes, and there was a lot of long rebounds, but Assumption pretty much was either shooting the 3 or getting back. I mean, we didn't really deal with the interior presence or the interior rebounding. But, yeah, a lot of missed shots in that second half. A lot of rebounds kind of came our way. And, you know, we want to be a good rebounding team, though. I mean, obviously we aspire to be a good rebounding team. And on both ends of the floor, I think we have the capabilities of being a pretty good rebounding team. And it's a huge thing for us as we play here early in the year, not giving up second shots and getting second shots. So, but, yeah, there was a lot of rebounds in that game.
Coach, you mentioned they missed a lot of 3-pointers in that second half. Obviously, they only made one in that second half. Did something change with the perimeter defense at halftime?
Well, I think halftime was a big disappointment for us as we came into the game. We identified very quickly, one, their style, their emphasis on shooting the 3, their personnel, and the guys that could really be dangerous. And, you know, 2 guys made 6 threes in that first half. And that was disappointing. They shot 6 for 15 in the first half. 2 guys in the scouting report that we knew could really, really hurt us from the 3-point line got off. We talked a lot about it at halftime. Second half, I'm not sure. You know, clearly they missed a lot more. I think we did a better job of covering. And I don't think a lot of their shots in the second half were great looks, so we were there. But 3-point line is a great equalizer. You can't let a great 3-point shooting team and or a great 3-point shooter come in your building and get rolling in the first half. That spells a long night for you sometimes. So, halftime we did discuss it.
Coach, we'll let you get to practice.
All right.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll see you guys later here.